Intention is the key to co-creating our lives. They are lasered statements that are aims that we are placing on the altar of spirit, that this is our statement, our knowing of what I am calling forth. They are not based in only outcomes, they're based in qualities. So an intention is like, and you've read it in my book, it's like a massive bow and arrow to me. The bow is the Almighty Source, Spirit. We put our intention super clear into an arrow, based in qualities, present moments, always in positive language. And as we put that into this unlimited field with our clear intention and let go, an intention is moved into motion to be created.
I am so excited today. First of all, welcome to another episode of Negotiate Your Best Life. But I'm so excited because I get to talk to one of my most favorite people on the planet, Kim STANWOOD, TERRANOVA. I got to meet her last year when she was brought into a group that I'm a part of. And I also had read her book, and I was literally blown away by her energy, the pearls of wisdom that she taught. I'm not often blown away by people. I've heard a lot of people speak. I've been around the block for a long time, and I couldn't take notes fast enough. I don't often hear somebody speak and then go, okay, I'm going to incorporate something that this person has taught, and then I do it and I think about them every single day. And that is something I have done with this particular person. So I'm so excited to share her with you and share her teachings with you, because I think that this is going to be one of those episodes that you're going to listen to over and over again. And you're going to go, oh my God, I got to go get her book. I got to listen to what she teaches. I'm going to go follow her. She's just really an incredible person. So thank you, Kim, for joining us. And you're just incredible.
Okay,
So,
with that, that was such a beautiful intro. Thank you. Thank you. My yes to you was not even a blink. The second you invited me, it was like, I'd be honored. Are you kidding me?
yeah.
I'm right here with you.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't even get to say, by the way, you're a 3-time best-selling author. You studied under Michael Bernard Beckwith. You helped, create the Agape Spiritual Center with him. You teach it all over the world. I didn't even get to say all those really great things about you, because I was just like bubbling over about all the things that I thought were amazing about you. But by the way, she's done all these great things too. So, yeah. So how did you even start doing this teaching about the technology of intention and activating this world of how to create intention?
Such a good question, because I love intention so much, as you know. Very often we find our gifts in the midst of something that looks like pain. And for me, at a very young age, I was not finding my people. I was not understanding certain things in life, not understanding why other people didn't want to have big conversations of the workings of the universe and what was really going on. So when I found my way through pain to a wonderful spiritual center, I immediately started studying spiritual wisdom. And the blessing of that is very quickly, now this I can't remember if somebody introduced me to the power of intention, or if I discovered it through, a certain reading. But when I grasped it and started to put it into motion was many moons ago. And I quickly caught, wait a second, if I know I'm co-creating with this universal field, God, and I want to do it intentionally, then I must be very clear of my intentions. So I got curious. And I feel like when we get curious, then everything opens up for us to show us more. When we ask the questions to keep us curious, I wanted to know more. And that was enough for me to begin to learn about the opportunities of co-creation. And what I know now and what I was learning then is that intention is the pathway, the key to co-creating our lives consciously. So once I got on it, then I became very intentional about mastering it. I didn't want to just know it. I wanted to master it. And then I've never stopped.
Yeah. Well, and I know for me, I can say that it's shown up in my own life in so many ways. And I started doing this work. I mean, probably, oh gosh, almost 30 years ago now.
Mhm.
And I mean, there wasn't even all that much available so long
Right.
ago. I mean, there wasn't like internet or anything. Like I would find, a book here or there. I mean, I remember so long ago reading like the Celestine Prophecy and then
Yes.
starting to read, some Wayne Dyer stuff would start to trickle in there. And like there wasn't that much available so long ago. But I remember starting to like, oh, okay, I think I'm onto something here. And then almost starting to like experiment with it. Well, let me just try creating this intention and seeing this shows up in my life. And then starting to go, well, maybe that was a coincidence. Maybe that wasn't.
Until you really grasp, like, oh, something's occurring here. The
Yeah.
power of intention is so tangible. And once we begin to activate it, we can quickly see, oh, that just occurred. That just occurred. The part of creating our life by intention is to be aware of when fulfilled intention lands and to pause and be aware of, okay, I just saw that happen. Not that I did it. We move out of the I and move to we when we're using intention. The I is very much goal oriented and nothing's wrong with goals, but we know I can do this. Intention is source, spirit, and I are co creating by the power of intention. So we slip into we got this instead of I got this. And when we start to acknowledge that, then the thank you of, oh my goodness, this is a fulfilled intention. The thank you is that we were awake enough to line up with source to co create with it. So it's
Mm,
something to celebrate over and over and over again.
mm. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful to say that? And just to take and that also makes it a little less lonely too,
Yes, it does.
when you don't feel
Yes.
like, oh, I have no net.
Mm, but we do. We just
Yeah.
forget. We take on this human experience. And at a young age, once we start to be moving through society and discovering other people's beliefs as well as those that are given to us, we forget the truth that we are always co-creating. So we
Mm,
are never alone. And when we wake up again in whatever point of our lives to remember, oh, I'm not alone. Source is right here, whether we name that God, spirit, the universe, there's an energetic field of love that is moving through each and every one of us. That is the place that we create when we lean in to that presence and say, okay, I'm willing. I'm willing to start creating my life consciously and activate that by intention.
yes. And you're going to be creating it anyway,
Mm-hmm.
subconsciously, unconsciously, however you want to say it. So you might as well be doing it consciously.
Yes, yes. And that right there, Rebecca, what you just said, when we catch ourselves to know, oh, I just had this challenging day or a bad day, but what was I creating when I woke up? Was I already looking out to the day like this is going to be hard? This isn't going to work. The second we're in that field of thinking, we're already creating. It's just as you said, it's completely unconscious. Unconscious creation still
Hmm.
creates. So can we be conscious in our creation and begin to activate a field that is just so potent and so rich in our door of willingness to activate it and use it?
Hmm. So when people say, "Oh, I can never get what I want," and things always go their way, and I mean, I hear people saying those kinds of things all the time.
Mhm.
You're,
This won't work. It'll never work. What am I thinking? Or if someone says to me, Rebecca, Kim, this is just the way I am. I'm like this. I've never succeeded in relationship. I'm not going to now. Right in that sentence, those sentences, they're creating more of that.
yep.
We've been taught this for years now. No, then we get to move in our world right now from what we've been taught for years, where you and I were studying Wayne Dyer, where we were studying, great, wonderful spiritual teachers. Now it's time for all of us to live it. This is the knowledge. We study, study, study. When we move to wisdom, we're embodying the knowledge of all of that we've studied and we're living it boldly. That takes massive courage.
Yes. Yeah. I remember one time you said when people ask for clarity, should also ask for courage.
Yes, I learned that the most challenging way. But when we ask for clarity, when we set ourselves with an intention, my intention is to call forth clarity. So if they're stuck in life and they're looking at, am I to stay in this relationship and leave? Or am I to stay in this job position or leave? I just don't know. I want clarity. If we just say clarity, clarity will always come. Spirit will always deliver to us the clarity of what we are asking for. We never quite know when, but it'll come. Often, if we're not prepared, the clarity will be so mind-boggling that we then it is required to have the courage to fulfill what we just were given. So an answer comes, could be, this is not my job. I'm not supposed to be here, or I'm supposed to move out of the state. I don't understand that clarity. The courage is to fulfill what we just caught. They go hand in hand. So, as I said, I learned the hard way. My intention is to, if I'm aiming for clarity, my intention is to call forth clarity with ease and grace and the courage to fulfill it as I move forward in my life. Both of them go completely hand in hand.
So beautiful. See, I was listening.
You were.
Yes. Okay. So, what is intention? Give us a good definition of intention.
Intention is the key to co-creating our lives. They are lasered statements that are aims that we are placing on the altar of spirit, that this is our statement, our knowing of what I am calling forth. They are not based in only outcomes, they're based in qualities. So an intention is like, and you've read it in my book, it's like a massive bow and arrow to me. The bow is the almighty source, spirit, unlimited. We put our intention super clear into an arrow, based in qualities, present moment, always in positive language. And as we put that into this unlimited field with our clear intention and let go, an intention is moved into motion to be created. So if we're muddled in our intention, if we say, I don't know, I think I want that, it's not a clear intention. My intention is to feel good today. I don't know if I really will. That's not a clear intention. An intention is precise, but there's nothing about it that we control. And that's where we build our muscle, because we're in a world where we want to know how. When I look at a room full of people and say, I'm inviting you to let go of that how, just stick it straight out the door, because you do not know how you're going to fulfill your intention. We're not supposed to. Spirit helps us fulfill it. We're not supposed to know how.
So, a lot of people will say, I just don't want to have to deal with this narcissist anymore. That's not an intention.
Correct.
And I know that that is not an intention, and I want you to explain why.
Beautiful, because that's a statement of a want of what you don't want. So it's still a creation of what we don't want. I don't want to deal with this narcissist. I don't want to deal with this narcissist. That's all energy. So we're staying in the field of dealing with the narcissist. So when someone says that to me, I'll say, hold on. Tell me what you want. What do you want? What do you want to feel? What do you want to be? Even if you're in the presence of that narcissist in this moment, what do you want to be? Which puts the power, and I don't use that loosely, our own inner power, not power over someone, our power back inside of us. So instead of, I don't want that, if I say, what do you want? I want to be empowered in the presence of this person. I want to be unmoved and unshaken by their patterns. So the intention is, who do you want to be? So if someone's in the presence of a narcissist and hasn't been able to remove themselves from them at this point, say they want to stand in their power, speak their truth, then that goes into the intention. My intention is to stand in my power, speak my truth to all those I am with, and be unshaken by their patterns. That's really stating what one wants instead of stating what one doesn't want.
And here's another, I think, good example of what is not a good intention. I want revenge on the narcissist?
Mm.
Why is that not a good intention?
So under that, of course, Rebecca, we both know there's so much more under that. There's healing that goes on under that want. I would never allow, I'd be with someone who would, let's get under that, because there's a healing to take place for the person who wants that, because there's harm under there. There's understandable sadness and grief of I've been harmed and I want revenge. So we never want to ignore, oh, there's healing that's calling forth there without judging either person. So that's one piece I don't want to leave out. When we aim for, what do you really want? Is it revenge? Is it fairness? Is it truth to be revealed? Is it to have the strength to not be hooked by that narcissist any longer? Because we can't control that other person. We can absolutely empower ourselves to heal so that other person's patterns no longer have way over us.
Exactly.
But if we ignore the hurt, part of it, if I got under there with someone, I'd say, what do we really want? Is it healing? My intention is to call forth healing of my soul where it was harmed. My intention is to call forth healing and strength to choose wisely as I engage in any future relationships. Or my intention is to stand in fairness and release the hurt. And I'm not saying this in the intention of where I want revenge.
Yes. I always say that where you want to go, where you want to end up is like Glinda, the good witch at the beginning of The Wizard of Oz, when the wicked witch flew around her and she said, go away, you have no power here. And she flicked her away. And the wicked witch went, oh my God, I'm getting away from her.
Yes.
And Glinda was so nonplussed by her. She was like, please, lady. She was not even she was like a gnat flying around that.
Because she was unmoved.
Unmoved.
So she was so solid in her light, in her goodness.
Yes.
That anyone else's harmful aim could not even land on her. Now, you and I know what muscle it takes to build the strength and the confidence to stand in that.
Yes.
I believe it's worth it. And that to know that all of us can, the second we get caught in revenge, anger still brings more anger, which is why when we heal the hurt that is having that reaction, we could begin to then have intentions to be unmoved because the hurt's been healed.
Exactly. So the parts of, first let's talk about the power pillars. What are power pillars?
There's 3 power pillars of writing clear intentions. I've tracked this over the years because I could see areas I missed in the beginning. And then I thought, oh, this is really clear. When we practice these 3 things as we write and state intentions, then they're very clear to the universe. So the first one is clear intentions are always stated in the present moment. Always. We write them in this moment. The power of spirit. We're not breathing next week's power or breath. This moment is where spirit is empowering us. So someone in business may say to me, Kim, that mediation or that meeting next week or that board meeting next week, I'm nervous. I've got to deliver a powerful, talk. What can my intention be? We're not going to aim for next week. It's right now. So I'd say, tell me what you want to feel in that mediation or that talk. I want to be clear, articulate, calm, centered, available to communicate to everyone. That's what we aim for. In this moment and onward, everywhere at all times, my intention is to be clear, articulate, forever in all my pathways of communication. So present moment is the first pillar. Second one is they're always based in positive language. This one, so often people say, well, Kim, of course, that's an easy one. We don't realize where we may unconsciously put negative language in the intention because it's what we don't want. Someone can say, my intention is to not eat unhealthy food because I want to lose weight. Well, they're still aiming on not eat unhealthy food, not eat unhealthy food. That's right in the smack of your intention. You don't want that. So what's the opposite of that? My intention is to make choices that honor my body. So we just watch our languaging. Our language is so important. And as we watch our language, we go, oh, is this wording positive language or negative language? So that's the second pillar. The third one, which I find takes practice with people at times, is that they're always based in qualities, not outcomes. We've been taught in society that we want a thing for happiness, a place. We have expectations of things that will bring us happiness. That's an outcome. What we really want are qualities and feelings. If someone says they want to be a billionaire, I'm going to say, tell me the qualities you want to experience. Is that financial freedom? Is that joy? Is that everything's paid with ease and grace? You're able to gift others with so much, abundance. They're looking for freedom and abundance and joy and all sorts of things. We aim for that, not the circumstance of a dollar amount. So the third portal is very important and takes a lot of practice for people. Someone can say, but I want a house. I want a relationship. Tell me the qualities of that house. Tell me who you want to be in that relationship. Because we don't want to have an expectation that I'm going to meet this person by this age in my life and be married by that age. All that is going to lead to disappointment.
Okay.
So third portal.
Give us an example. Give us an example of a couple of statements.
Of those three portals?
Yes, just give us of some intention statements.
Perfect. So relationship could be, my intention is to call forth a relationship that absolutely matches my spiritual expansion, that I live with this individual in joy and adventure and peace and harmony, and our communication paths are brilliant. Okay, Rebecca, forgive me. I write long intentions. I could shorten it right to my intention is to call forth a loving relationship. So it could be either one, right?
Yes.
If it's financial wealth, someone could say, and it's their business. Maybe someone's business is struggling. It could be, my intention is to call forth financial overflow in my organization as everything stabilizes and moves to more abundance day by day. So we're aiming for qualities, not outcomes. I want people to build that muscle and that connection. It's not a certain car. It's how do you feel in that car? Safe, protected, love it to go fast. What is that for you? Put that in your intention, because we are energetic vibratory beings. We will attract to us the vibration of what we desire more than stating it's got to be that. The difference.
I was taught that the most important thing, more than anything, is to feel good, is to have the vibrational energy of feeling good, feeling, instead of the low energies of feeling anger, sadness, depression, revenge, all of those. Like more than anything is to feel as good as you can, because that will attract what you want into your life. If you do nothing else, make sure that your vibrational energy is as good as it can get.
Beautiful. Yes.
Listen to a song to make yourself feel better. Be with people to make yourself feel better. Whatever you can to pivot your energy. What do you think about that?
That I'm right in alignment with that, because this is what happens when we feel good. When we feel good, are fulfilled, are happy, we are vibrationally connected to being a good receiver as well as a giver. When we're in goodness, we're moving and giving and receiving in abundance, in flow. When we're angry, upset, feeling like a victim, everything within us energetically closes like this. So our vibration shifts, whether we're judging someone or feeling like they're judging us, we lock up. To be a receiver, to fulfill intention, to feel fulfilled intentions, we have to be willing to receive. When we're willing to receive, we're open and receptive in a harmonious, happy mood, because we know we're worthy. So your teaching of, yes, I got to feel good, has so many pathways to what assists that feeling to create, to receive, and to absolutely become the match for what you're asking for.
So good. One of the things that I love about your teachings is that you talk about bringing intention to everything that you do. not just the macro level, but even on a micro level, about conversations that you have, about your day. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because you talk about it in such a more eloquent way than I can.
Well, you're right on track. In my life, there is not one thing in my life that would not be more honored and is not deserving, is always deserving, let me say it properly, of intention. So there's nothing I do without having an intention. Every conversation, this podcast, every dinner, meeting, engagement, moments I'm speaking on stage, everything has an intention to it. What we must remember is that as we're co-creative beings, why wouldn't we choose to bring intention into every moment? Because we're creating that moment. If we don't, we're thinking, oh, they're just yearly intentions. Of course, I have those. I have huge retreats that are like, we set our intentions for the year in business, in relationship, in healing, in family. Those overall intentions have moment by moment by moment sub-intentions under them. So if I have an intention in business to expand my business, to complete my second book for the year, say, then in my day-by-day intention, when I wake up, it's like, what is my intention today? I look at my calendar, I could see what's happening. I have a full day. My intention is to finish writing. So I'm going to call forth flexibility, fluidity, so that there's windows of time for me to be able to write. That's an intention for that day. I'm walking into a meeting. I want to be conscious in that meeting. What if everyone in the world right now, before we begin any business meetings, corporate meetings, small meetings, we just pause. It takes 30 seconds or less. Take a breath and ask ourselves, what's my intention in this meeting? We're going to begin to have more conversations that are conscious, honest, authentic, of high integrity, because we're not carrying into the meeting whatever happened to us before, or the story we could be thinking of what the person across the table thinks. None of that is involved in intention. Intention's present moment. We could have had all sorts of stuff happen the moment before. We're walking into a meeting, walking into our front door to greet our family. Maybe we're coming in with a full day. Pause, just close our eyes, say, okay, let me just take a breath. What's my intention? I want to connect with my loved ones. I want to be open to share what my day was today and to rest for a peaceful night. Then walk in the door. I mean, it's like because then we're creating that without the intention. We walk in the door carrying the journey of the day in the door and then reacting to everyone who greets us. So there's a sentence here I want to make sure I'm really clear with. Without intentions, we're always going to be reacting to the circumstances in front of us. So we become reactionary beings to whether our family, a business partner, the person driving down the road that just cut us off, we react. So then we're out of the present moment and we're not as powerful as we are in the present moment because we're not listening. All we have to do is get back and ask ourselves at any moment, whoa, what's my intention? I just felt anger come up. Or what's my intention? I felt sadness come up. Okay, my intention is to be loving. My intention is to be gentle. My intention is to be kind. Right there, you're in the present moment and you begin again. Over and over and over. So then we're having conscious relationships instead of reactionary ones.
Yes, conscious relationships, conscious creation, conscious everything about our lives. And so everything in our lives then becomes a choice.
Yes.
And everything, and because, I actually, I have the intellectual property on the phrase "the deciding factor," because I feel like in every moment we have a decision, and
Yes.
that is every moment of our lives is made up of a series of decisions. Like
Yes.
our lives are made up of a series of decisions.
Moment by moment, by moment by moment. Our challenge is we live in a world that a lot of us have fallen asleep due to pain, sadness, challenges, all sorts of things. We could have the compassion to understand why we've fallen asleep. We forgot we have choice. So your point exactly is that is at our fingertips every moment when we know I have choice, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how angry I am, I have choice, even if I can't find my way out right now, to choose to have a practice. I call that a life of intention as a practice, and choose. I could feel all this and know I'm still in choice in this next moment. We don't ignore the feelings. We see them, heal them to the best of our ability, and maybe even put the healing in the middle of the intention. My intention is to heal my heart as I have this challenging conversation, or I'm not going to call it that, this powerful conversation.
Yes. Yes. Ah, so good. One of the other things that you talk about, I mean, a lot of people talk about the power of gratitude, which is absolutely so powerful. And I mean, I got to interview the amazing Bob Proctor a few years ago,
So
and he was literally one of the most impactful
yes.
interviews that I ever did. And actually, we got off the call, and he was so lovely to sit and coach me for like an hour after.
Beautiful.
And I didn't even, I mean, he was one of the first major interviews that I ever did. And so I was so nervous. And yet he was one of the most gracious, kind people that I've ever interviewed since then, before or since.
Beautiful.
And honestly, he actually was the one who said, you need to write down 10 things that you're grateful for every day. And I've ever since then, I still have. And so I highly recommend to people that you do that. If you're not doing that already, it really only takes a few minutes a day. And you can use your phone, or there's many different ways that you can journal or whatever. So,
Yes.
but you also talk about celebration and acknowledgement. And I want to specifically talk about acknowledgement because I have started doing that since you talked about that. And I remember when you first started telling us to acknowledge yourself, I was like, I can't think of single thing to acknowledge myself for. Or like I would think of like one or two things. It was so hard. It was
Yeah.
really so hard to do because we're not wired that way. And so I want you to talk about that a little bit.
Thank you for sharing that. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How are your acknowledgements now?
It's much easier for me now. It's gotten easier because, I've practiced. I've had to
Yes.
practice though.
Thank you for saying, because that's what it takes. Acknowledgements of all the practices I bring to people. That's one that lots of times people at the beginning will say, Kim, this is too hard. This one's hard. And as they begin to practice moving through what feels hard, they get to the other side and start to feel the benefits of it. So the reason I ask everyone in my life to write daily acknowledgements, I invite people to open your journal, have a specific one that's about gratitude and acknowledgement. And left-hand side, I put today, I'm grateful for these things. The right-hand side, today, I acknowledge myself for these things. Here's the difference between those two. Gratitude are things we observe in the world that we're highly aware of, that we are so grateful for. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you invited me to be here. I'm grateful for this day. Everything opened up. Technology is working in every way. I'm grateful for all that. I didn't make any of it happen, but I'm highly grateful for it. I acknowledge myself that I said yes. I acknowledge myself where my participation is, that I was sure to be right here with you at this exact time. I acknowledge myself for what's occurring in my life that I am participating in. Now, the reason I ask everyone to do this is because, as you stated, in our world, we haven't been wired to do this. We've been taught in society that, oh, that could be ego if you say, I did that really well. This is not an egoic exercise. I'm not pointing at ego. I'm pointing at self-love. This is an act of self-love. We don't announce it to the world. We write it in our intimate journal every night. And it's an act of looking at where we are growing. So many times when we're little bitty children in our life, we tell them constantly if they fall, you're doing a great job. It's okay. Try again. Try again. Then we grow up into our adult bodies, and the chatter in our head is not the same match as you're doing great, try again. We start to believe, oh no, I'm not doing very well. I'm not doing this well at all. When really there's moments every day that we could acknowledge ourselves that some choice we made that we did well. I'm looking for those moments. I'm looking for, I took a deep breath as I had a, meaningful conversation today. I'm looking for, I set my intention before I walked into this meeting today. The acknowledgements keep us on the track of self-love. Now, the other thing they do that's so vitally important is that they assist us to be good receivers. The other thing that's occurred in our society is we've taken on thinking that if we receive help from others or receive loves from others, that either that we're being too vulnerable or it's needy. So lots of us in the world go, if we're given a compliment, if we're offered, can I buy you lunch, take you on a trip, people go, oh, no, that's too much. I couldn't accept that. We think that's a way of being polite. But what we're really doing is saying to the universal field, oh, no, I can't accept that of all that I've been asking for. So we're giving the universe two separate messages. My intention is to call forth financial abundance. Someone wants to buy you lunch. We say, oh, no, I can't take that. So we asked for one thing. We just said no to it. We must begin to connect that anywhere we're repelling our good, compliment, love, offerings, gifts, we're repelling good means we're still saying to the universal force no instead of yes and thank you. Every time we write an acknowledgement, we're building this field of receptivity. We're building a landing pad for every intention and every prayer and wish to land upon, because we're knowing we're worthy, because we're recognizing it moment by moment.
Which brings, oh, so good. Which brings me to something else that I still do, by the way, which is when you receive a compliment, which is one of the hardest things, I think, especially for women, but I think even for men too, that you taught me. And that is to put your hand over your heart. And so when somebody says something good to you, like you look nice today or something, whatever, most people say, oh, no, this thing, no, thanks. You have taught us to say, thank you. And just put your hand over your heart and pat your heart and just say, I receive that.
Yes.
That. And
yes.
Because you're just allowing that goodness into your heart, you're almost just like tapping it right on in. Thank you. I receive that.
Yes. And what that's also, thank you for applying that, is it takes us out of our head. Our head wants to argue and give someone evidence of why we should not accept that. And yet we've just been given a gift. Imagine, while you were saying that, Rebecca, I was saying, imagine if we're teaching our youth of the world this, and they're growing into adulthood with tools that if somebody says to them, you can do this, I've just watched you, you did an amazing job, go try it again, you just did great. And if our youth are saying, thank you, I received that, and have the confidence to move forward in whatever their endeavors are in life, we get to begin to support one another in knowing, can it be acceptable to receive? Can it be acceptable to receive? If it can, our intentions are going to be fulfilled at a faster rate. And I'm not proposing that everything has to be fast, but we're going to see our manifestations occur more readily because I want to say this right, we're going to see them manifest more readily because we're cultivating a field to be a good receiver. Acknowledgements are profound. It's what I'm writing my second book on right now, is the power of that, because when we're not doing it, we're still repelling. So I just invited everyone to ask, am I repelling or receiving? What am I doing?
Yes, so good. So conscious creation, name it, claim it, create it. Right?
We're doing that right now.
Yes. And receive. Thank you. I received that. And so for those of you who can't see me, I'm just sort of tapping my heart saying, thank you. I received that. Yes. And I, even my husband and I, we like have to remind ourselves, thank you. I received that, and so I still do that. Do that.
Thank you. And on that note with your husband, when I have couples in front of me, I ask all couples, all families, to begin to bring acknowledgement into their family. What about if the dinner table we're sitting around and we acknowledge each other? I acknowledge you. I saw that you were so gentle with the kids today when I was really having a hard time. Or I acknowledge you to my child that I know for a moment that was hard for you to have that conversation with your friend, and you did it. You put your phone down and had a conversation. You did such a good job. we live with those we love, and we forget to shower them with words of love besides I love you, but to really see them. I see you, I acknowledge you, I love you. We get to shift the field of where we're living at in our worlds, beginning with our families and onward. So
And
couples,
bringing attention to conversation.
yes, always. We don't
Yes.
start a conversation in our family without what's our intention before this conversation. We won't start one. We don't go to family events without I look at the kids and go, what's your intention today? What's mine? Okay, great. We all got our intentions. Let's walk in the door and enjoy ourselves. Because the second we do, we've then released the expectation that anyone else has to fulfill us. We're there to deliver our gifts.
Yes, because expectation is what leads to disappointment. And
Yes.
so good. You and I could have this conversation forever. I
Yes,
mean,
because it's an important conversation.
so good. So good. So if everybody is listening today, start today. These are easy things that you can start today. That's the thing that's beautiful. I mean, this is not anything that's like, okay, this is way too hard. I can't do this. This is like, no, you can start this today. You can literally get your phone out tonight or go get a little journal today and start with acknowledgments. You can start with like some small baby steps there. And of course, go get her book.
Why, thank you. Please do.
Yes, The Technology of Intention, Activating the Power of the Universe Within You. Where can people find you, follow you, check you out, get in touch with you?
On social media, of course, and it's under Kim Stanwood on my Instagram because they couldn't fit my whole name. I'm not sure why. But you could find my website, Kim Stanwood TERRANOVA. I'm also one of the lead facilitators, spiritual teacher at the Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. So lots of times I'll be a guest speaker in 2 months now. Can always come see me here. There's unlimited places to find me, and I'd be honored because we found each other and we didn't even know we'd find each other in the way we did.
That's right. So if it's meant to be, it will happen, right? You'll find each other.
Yes.
I always say, Wayne Dyer used to say that we take the word coincidence and make it mean something completely different than what it's meant to mean. Because in math, two triangles that coincide actually fit perfectly together, that they're meant to be together, right? And
Yes.
so that we have made the word coincidence mean something completely different. So if you're meant to meet, then you're meant to meet, and it's there's no accidents in the universe. So
Never. I love how Michael Beckwith, my teacher, always says, we're just normalizing the miraculous. We can normalize the miraculous every moment of our lives when we start to accept that, of course, we met each other. Of course, we're right here. Of course, we're going to meet each other again and again and again and keep growing together. And know that there's room for all of us. There's room for everyone to connect, especially today in the world. There's room for all of us to connect.
Yes, because the universe is abundant and there is plenty to go around, right?
Yes,
so,
yes.
I just absolutely, now everybody knows why I love this woman so much.
It's mutual, my dear. I am grateful and bow to you for all you bring to the world. I thank you, thank you, thank you for all your gifts that you shower upon people. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, go check her out. Go get her book. Go listen to it. I recommend that you get the physical copy and the audio book because listening to her voice is just incredible. And then go get the physical copy too, so that you can, read it, highlight it, underline it, do all the things that you need to do with it as well. So thank you, Kim. You are just a gem in the universe. So thank you.
It's my honor. My intention is we do this again soon.
We will. Oh my gosh. Totally.
All right.
All right.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.